All right, in this video today, we're going to learn about Module 3, Lesson 3, which is slope-intercept form. You should have 5 pages or 3 pages of notes and 2 pages of practice. All right, so in this lesson, we need to learn about slope-intercept form, and this should be review from something you learned previously in pre-algebra or previous math classes. And an equation in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. You'll notice that I'm always going to highlight my m or my slope in the color like pinkish purple, and b is going to be green for y-intercept, because anytime I have a y value, I always highlight it in green, just to keep things consistent across all notes. So we need to write an equation in slope-intercept form, and they've given us the slope and they've given us the y-intercept. So I just have to replace the m value with the slope, which is 4/7, and the b value with the 5, because that's our y-intercept. And then I'm just going to simplify the equation, which means y is equal to 4/7x plus 5. Now I want you to go ahead and try the check on your own. Pause the video, fill in your m and b, and come back and check your answer. All right, now that you've gotten back, our slope was -5, our y-intercept was -12. So check to make sure that you have y is equal to -5x minus 12. Because you wouldn't leave it as plus minus 12. You would simplify that to be just -5x minus 12. All right, in example 2, we are going to rewrite the linear equation in slope-intercept form. So they've given us an equation in standard form, 12x minus 4y equals -4, and we need to rewrite that in the slope of y equals mx plus b. So we did some of this previously when we had to rearrange equations back in Module 1. So now we're just going to remember what we learned and using our properties of equality to isolate the y value. So remember here, our goal is to isolate that y, get that y by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 12x from each side. And we're subtracting 12x from each side because it's a positive 12x currently, and we want to move it away from the y. Once we subtract 12x, we're going to get -4y is equal to -12x minus 4. Now we need to get rid of the coefficient. So the inverse of multiplication, because that -4 is being multiplied to the y, the inverse is going to be division. So we're going to divide by -4, and when you divide by -4, we're going to make sure to do that to all of our terms in the equation. So -4 divided by -4 is going to leave me with 1y. -12x divided by -4 is going to give me a positive 3x, and -4 divided by -4 is going to give me a positive 1. So once I simplify that, I get y is equal to 3x plus 1. Now that we've reviewed how to rearrange equations and solve for y, I want you to try the check on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and come back and check your answers. All right, now that you're ready to check your answers, remember we're isolating the y, and our correct answer is y is equal to -3x plus 5. If you don't have that correct answer, pause the video and check to see where you made a mistake. And B, the answer is y is equal to 1/2 x minus 2. Again, if you don't have the same answer, pause the video, check your work, and see where you made an error. In example 3, we need to write linear functions and identify key features. So they've given us a word problem. All right, so we need to write a linear function from the word problem. So one thing that I like to always keep in mind when I'm writing slope-intercept form of an equation is b is where I begin, my initial value, and m is how I move. So how is it moving, or how is it changing? So as I read this word problem, I see that it says the United States during a recent year increased by an average of 0.06 million per month since May. So that's how it's changing or moving. M is movement, so that's our slope. In May, there were about 4.61 million job openings. That's our beginning point, our initial value. So I identified my slope as 0.06 and I identified my y-intercept as 4.61. So now I just need to write that in slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to 0.06x plus 4.61. Now I want you to try the check on your own. They've already given you the slope-intercept form of the equation. You just need to identify the m and the b. So how is it moving and where did it begin? All right, now that you've come back and ready to check your answer, from this equation, we can say that they start with $56,800 in their bank account and they use $305 per day. So all you had to do in this check was identify which was your M and which was your B. Did you get it right? All right, example 4. Now we're going to start graphing linear functions in slope-intercept form. So in lesson 1, we learned how to graph by intercepts and we learned how to graph from a table. Now we're going to learn how to graph from slope-intercept form, or review, which really should be review graphing from slope-intercept form. So the first thing we need to do is graph our y-intercept, which is a positive 4. So I've highlighted my y-axis in green because I'm looking for my y-intercept, and I'm going to go up to 0, 4 and plot my point. My next step is to use my slope to move my rise over run. So my slope here is a -3/2. So I can either go down 3 into the right 2 or up 3 into the left 2. And in this example, I'm going to go down 3, -3, and to the right 2, a positive 2. Because remember, a negative divided by a positive is a negative number, and we have a negative slope. So then we connect our points and we graph our linear function. Now I want you to try the check on your own, following the same 2 steps, and then come back and check your work. All right, now that you're ready to check your answer, we started with 0, -1 as our y-intercept, and then our slope was 2, which remember is the same thing as having 2 over 1. And so we graphed our point. We went up 2, and we went to the right 1, and we plotted our second point, and then we graphed our linear function. Did you get it right? All right, example 5. Now we need to take what we learned in our previous example 2, which is how to rewrite a linear equation in slope-intercept form, and what we just learned in example 4, which is how to graph from slope-intercept form, and now we're going to apply both skills in this example. So remember, we want to isolate our y value to get it in slope-intercept form. So we're going to subtract 12x from both sides. Once we subtract 12x from both sides, we simplify and get -3y equals -12x plus 18. Then we're going to divide by -3, and we're going to divide all terms by -3. And when we do that, we get y is equal to a positive 4x minus 6. And it became positive because a -12 divided by a -3 is a positive 4, and 18 divided by -3 is a -6. Now that it's in slope-intercept form, I can graph. So I'm going to start at -6, which is not on this graph, but I can estimate where it would be, which is right below -5. And then I'm going to graph for my slope of 4, which is really 4 over 1. We're not just going to go up 4 and create a line, because then that would not be a linear function. All right, so we're going to go up 4. We went up 4 movements, and then we're going to go to the right 1 and plot our point and connect our dots, and there is our linear function with a positive slope of 4. Now you're going to try this check on your own. Pause the video, try to rewrite it in slope-intercept form, and then graph your line and check your work. Come back and check your work. All right, now that you're ready to check, again, we're trying to isolate that y, so we're going to add 4x this time because it was -4x on the left side of the equation, so we're going to add 4x to the other side of the equation so that we are using our inverse properties, or properties of equality, sorry. And then we're going to divide all of our terms by 2. And when we do that, we get y is equal to 2x plus 4. So our b is 4 and our slope is 2. When we have a slope of 2, remember it's 2 over 1, or it could also be negative 2 over negative 1. So there's my point, my y-intercept of 4. And this time I'm going to go down 2 into the left 1 because a negative 2 and a negative 1 is still going to give me a positive 2 slope. And there is my linear function. All right, now go ahead and fill in the self-assessment and I will check it when you return to class tomorrow. How are you feeling about your slope-intercept form? You don't understand at all, you're completely confused, or you can teach someone else. Be honest. Where are you sitting? Where do you stand? Okay, now you're going to work on your practice when we get into class tomorrow so you can ask any questions and I can help you. Thanks.